camera is now kind of open right now. So welcome, Prof. Chris. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you, Professor?
I'm fine.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm fine, Prof. Thank you.
Pero feeling ko hindi ka ano.
Hello, Dr. Chris.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Hi everyone. Of course, on behalf of Lead Philippines Chairman and UPOSA Incorporated, I would like to say good afternoon to our guest speaker for today, Dr.
Hello.
Chris Sotiropoulos. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. How are you all? Wishing you well.
We're all doing well, sir. Thank you, po.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Doc. Prof. Mar.
Good
Also,
afternoon.
Good afternoon also to Sir Chris Maria. To Madam Chris Maria Emilita B. Daliva from Tarlac National High School, Tarlac Province.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let's start, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to greet everyone an amazing Friday. Good afternoon. Hello, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. And education and individual transformation always take place in a larger systemic context. This is significant for all educators and leaders to excel in a position that demands social action and greater opportunities. Through this transformative learning, coupled with sense of values and excellence, engagement is increased and affirmative outcomes prevail. To our dignified lead Philippines chairman and founder, Dr. Mario C. Lucero, and UPOSA Incorporated CEO, President, and Founder, Dr. Blessy D.M. Cervantes, our distinguished guests, the founder and CEO of EduClouds from India, Sparsh Garg, and the co-founder and CEO of GOC from Australia, Dr. Chris Sotiropoulos. I'm so sorry. To our resource speakers, demonstration teachers, officers, and members of UPOSA Incorporated, Lead Philippines, and Aloysian Publications, and to all the participants here in the Philippines, magandang tanghali, and good evening. A blissful early evening, and welcome to the first day of our 3-day International Lecture Marathon in Transformative Education and Demonstration Teaching Festival with the theme, Exploring Best Practices in the Arena of Digital Education from June 18 to 20, 2021. Before we start, let us pray first. To feel the divine presence of our Almighty God, let us all offer ourselves in a prayer through a visual video presentation. And it will be followed by nurturing our nationalism.
I am thou, and oh, my soul so weary. When troubles come, and my heart burdens me, then I am still and wait here in silence till you come and still my need. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to what I can be. You raise me up to more than I mga kababayan at pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. persons. Thank you very much, everyone. Salamat po. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon. Magandang
I request to everyone here, please observe your microphones. Thank you very much. At this mark, ladies and men, to commend everybody's presence as she delivers her welcome remarks, let us listen to the UPOSA Incorporated CEO, President, and Founder, Dr. Blessedy M. Cervantes.
Hi, hello. Is my voice loud and clear, Sir Nep?
Yes, Doc.
Okay, so of course, to the lead Philippines headed by Dr. Mario Lucero, to my UPOSA Incorporated officers and members, to our international guest speakers, Dr. Sparsh Garg of India, and to Dr. Chris Soteropoulos from Australia, and to all the participants, a pleasant afternoon. It's an honor to welcome you to this 3-day international lecture marathon in transformative education and demonstration teaching with the theme exploring best practices in the arena of digital education. This event is actually a collaboration between Lead Philippines and the United Professionals for Service and Action Incorporated, or the UPOSA Incorporated, that I founded way back 2010 with its former name, the Professionals. UPOSA Incorporated is actually a national recognized professional organization by the Securities and Exchange Commission, of course, here in the Philippines. So when I affiliated the organization to the Lead Philippines, Dr. Lucero asked me right away, what project would we like to work together? And this was what I proposed to him, because this is actually the primarily or the primary purpose why UPOSA Incorporated exists. Of course, it's to help the professionals advance in their respective careers. And since I am in DepEd, or Department of Education, I know how hard it is for us to find a speaking and demo teaching opportunities, right? But of course, we need this most especially for those aiming for school leadership positions, since speakership is included in the computation of points for aspiring head teachers and principals based on the DepEd Order number 42, series of 2007. Whereas demonstration teaching is included in the computation of points for promotion of teachers based on the MAC Order 10 and 29. So I am really blessed because Dr. Lucero, the lead Philippines team, and the global, of course, agreed to partner with UPOSA and make this event possible. So here we are on the first day of our international lecture marathon and demonstration teaching festival, where you will be given speaking engagement and demonstration teaching opportunities that you need. And of course, this will also serve as the avenue where we can showcase our best practices that creates a significant impact in our respective institutions, which of course may help other communities as well. So again, our dear participants and international guests, welcome to this 3-day international lecture marathon in transformative education and demonstration teaching festival. Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Blessedy M. Cervantes, the UPOSA Incorporated CEO, President, and Founder. And now, to nurture our minds with his heartfelt and inspiring message, let us have the lead Philippines Chairman and Founder, Dr. Mario C. Lucero.
Thank you very much for Neptali for that generous introduction to the founder of UPOSA Incorporated, Dr. Blessedy Cervantes, to also the lead officers global and lead officers executive board in the Philippines, the officers of UPOSA Incorporated, thank you for partnering with Lead Philippines. This is our first project with UPOSA, and I hope that it will be successful. It will be a part of the professional development of educators in the Philippines. Lead Philippines existed for more than a decade, and we have established more than 50 centers across the globe. And with partners, organizational partners of at least 100 across the globe. This is not our first time to conduct international seminar on demo teaching, but this is our first with UPOSA. We also have conducted a lot of international seminars with our different country heads. And I'd like to thank also the presence of our guest, Dr. Chris Sotoripos from Australia. He is our country head in Australia for being the keynote speaker of this momentous gathering. I hope that we'll be able to give you the best practices, particularly viewing or showcasing the talents of teachers in the demo teaching. More so, we'll be learning a lot from the sharing of expert speakers. And as we go back to our own respective schools, though we know that we are ending school year 2020-2021, from school year 2022, we should be equipped with more technical skills. And I know that those who are attending the seminar would like to take this opportunity, that they would like to add more achievements. It is more on transformation rather than adding documents to their profile. So I'd like to extend my sincerest congratulations to all the participants. Also, I'd like to welcome our guest from United Kingdom, Mr. Spars Marge, and our our program coordinator for Lead Philippines Global, Dr. Matmaina, for her presence. So before I end my talk with you, I'd like to request the presence of our global coordinator, Dr. Matmaina, to at least greet the participants. Dr. Matmaina from from Indonesia. Hello, Dr. Matmaina.
Yeah, hi, Prof.
Yes. How's the rain in Indonesia right now?
I have sent to you about the weather condition in my place right now. Raining. The weather is raining right now, so that's why when you invite me to joining in this conference, I'm very honored to be here. I'm happy, and also welcome to the keynote speaker from Australia, my professor, Dr. Chris and Sparga, and all of the participants. I do really hope during this, we are in the practice physical distancing and the social distancing. When we are integration technology in our learning and teaching process, this is not easy. So many challenges we are faced right now until today. I think, Philippines and Indonesia, we are in Asia, we have the same, maybe we have same a problem, but the condition, it will be different. So just want to share to you my experience. I mean that use the technology that actually familiar with you and your student. Yeah, I think designing the material by using or integration the technology in our learning and teaching process. This is not the technology not replace the teacher. I'm still believe that, and in our hand. We are a facilitator, we are designing, and then we are evaluators. So I hope in 3 days, all of the participants, you will get more information, sharing experience, and also from our keynote speaker, they have insightful about this area, about education. So thank you, Prof, to having me today and invite me to join and introduce me to all of the participants.
Thank you
Very happy to be with you. Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Maina. She's from Indonesia. It's raining right now, so she did not show her face. But anyway, thank you for inviting Dr. Chris and Sir Sparks. Okay, so that would be all, and welcome and have a great day, each and everyone.
Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Mario C. Lucero, the lead Philippines chairman and founder. Also, I would like to thank to Dr. Mat Maina, a lecturer at Teachers Training and Education Faculty. Thank you very much. Moving on with our program. In a feat of an awaited moment, let us be amazed and be driven this evening through an informative talk as we invite our first guest speaker who will speak on technology-driven lessons for the 21st century learners. Allow me to introduce our first guest speaker for this evening. He is the founder and CEO of EduClouds, world's fastest growing edtech platform dedicated for learners, educators, I continue. He has been featured in India, TV, Financial Express, The Hindu, Deccan Herald, Your Story, and World Book of Records, London, Gold Edition. He is one of the India's youngest innovator and entrepreneur. He is a digital marketing specialist. He is a digital marketing specialist with a demonstrated history of India. He is determined to build creative brands, engage with potential customers, and win more business. He created a world record by hosting the world's largest virtual gathering where digital education was discussed among more than 35 countries, more than 70 organizations, and more than 3,500 participants. Ladies and men, once again, the founder and CEO of EduClouds in India, let us virtually laud for Spars Garge.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I'm glad to be here. Special thanks to Dr. Ma for inviting me today as a guest of honor. And I'm glad to see Dr. Chris here as another guest of honor. I've been told that we have scheduled a meeting for 28th, I think. We'll have a chat. Cool. So as per today's session and today's topic, we talk about the future of education and we talk about the technology and the use of technology in education. So I'd like to begin by talking about the fact that the education itself is a process of change. Let me drive you approximately 10 years, or let's say 3 generations back on how the education was actually practiced. If you talk about the education, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, they have got different stories to tell about how they started their school education, their college education, and what were their experiences. But one common thing was that there was a certain standard, there was a certain syllabus which was maintained throughout these years. And I can't help but notice that why were these people following a syllabus for the entire 3 generations? And why wasn't there any change? When education itself is subject to change, why wasn't there a change when our parents, the parents of our parents, and their parents were learning? It has been multiple decades since we have encountered a significant change in education. And now I feel is a crucial point where we need to teach the students on how to learn and not what to learn. Let's consider certain real life scenarios which actually help us prove this point. The students of the 21st century, they need to understand that this particular subject is useful for them in their life. But how do you determine that a particular learning will be effective for you in the coming future when the future is dynamically changing? Approximately 30 years from now, 30 years back from now, we couldn't even imagine of thinking of space travel or shooting movies in helicopters or stuff like that. But now we are actually planning to go to the moon. We're actually planning to set up civilizations on Mars, which means that in 30 years, the entire cascade, the entire scenario of the world has changed. The students of the current generation do not even know what they want to do in future because we do not know what's going to come in the future. The development scale of the world is so fast that even if we developed at the slowest pace, in the next 50 years, we'll still establish an entire civilization in outer space. How do you prepare the students for something like this? That's the topic of my discussion today. I feel that we need to talk about the process of how to learn. Students should have, we need to develop this instinct in the students that, yes, you need to start enjoying the fact that you're learning something new. If you just force them to learn a particular subject and do not tell them the importance of that particular subject, it's all in vain. The students will not give a damn about what exactly they are learning in the schools. Because at the end of the day, I think there's someone's mic's on. So I think at the end of the day, we need to help students understand that what is exactly the need of the subjects that they're learning. Let me take certain examples for that. When I was in school, I was told to learn geography. Just by the way, I'm terrible at it. So I started learning it, and the teacher started to teach me something called segmented rocks and weird stuff that talked about how the earth started forming up. And I had one question. In my entire life of possibly 70 years, where will I ever be asked, how was the earth formed? Where will I ever be in need of learning a map? I live in the century where we have Google Maps. We don't need to learn maps. We live in the century where we have the technology to work for us and make us money, which means that this particular thing should not be taught. But that's not the scenario. There are different fields, particularly in the archaeologists, that's how you say it, I guess, geologists, and different fields which actually emerge from subjects like these. As a student, no one told me that. And that's why I lost all my interest. I actually switched school when I was in class 8th and moved to a school where I did not have to study geography and history because I hated these subjects. I didn't care that how my country got freedom in 1947 because I had the importance of it. All I was told is to cram and vomit when it comes to the exam. And that is the foundation of a very poor education system. Thankfully, my country, which is my native country, India, has come up with a new education policy, which is catered to specifically developing an interest in the early education field for classes 1 to 6, and they focus on developing interest in the STEM subjects, which means that in the long term, students will understand the value of mathematics. They'll not say that trigonometry is not worth it. They'll say that yes, trigonometry is used in these particular areas, and eventually some people will become physicists in the coming future. They're teaching students about the real life technology that's being used. For example, Mars rovers. They're talking about augmented reality. They're talking about the satellites. All of these things will be the future. And it's the right point where the Indian education system is transforming and developing into something which is truly important. Let me tell you a bit about how to basically motivate the students on how to learn. We do not focus on what to learn at all. We just focus on the value addition to the student and actually developing an emotional connection between the student and the subject. I got my emotional connection when I watched Shark Tank. I wasn't really planning on being an entrepreneur. I watched almost all the episodes of Shark Tank in the UK, all the episodes of Dragon Den in the UK, all the episodes of Shark Tank in Australia. And I'm a massive, massive fan. For those people who don't know, you should know, first of all. For those people who don't know, Shark Tank is a TV show where entrepreneurs come up and pitch their ideas. I got my interest in business through shows like these. I watched multiple movies and I was like, damn, this thing is good. You actually can create value by investing absolute 0 rupees. How's that possible? That I learned from another show called Undercover Billionaire. What I'm trying to say is that you need to develop an interest into the student's mind towards a particular subject through third party forces, which could or may not be television. I'm just giving examples. For people, I also own a couple of institutes in India, I own a couple of virtual institutes in the UK. So what we do is we introduce them to a whole lot of activities, and then we let them choose. That, you know what, let me tell you a bit about different activities that are being formed in different cultures, different activities, different subjects that are being taught in different areas, and how the people are teaching that. Automatically, and in my case, the students are the teachers, by the way. So the teachers, which are my students, actually understand that, okay, this thing might work in my country. This thing might work in my country. For example, we launched the Google Educator course in India. And we had the first batch where we taught more than 100 teachers about how to use the Google technology in the field of education. Just FYI, we are currently Google's education partner in the country. And not just this, almost 1 month back, we got recognized as a global expert by the world's tech giant, Google. Yes, we did that. And interestingly, with Dr. Mar's recommendation and my achievements by my age, I have become the world's youngest person to receive an honorary doctorate. I'm yet to receive 2 more. And then I'll actually apply for a Guinness World Record. What I'm trying to say is that if you portray the right interest to the child at the right time, they can turn out to be really good. I'm a real life example there. So coming back, let's talk about the jobs in the future, and let's talk about how to prepare the students for these jobs. If we think that we can teach the students a particular subject and expect them to grow and develop into an individual who's working for some other company or starting his own company, we need to solely focus on the fact that they have an emotional connection to the subject and their brain is already working towards a subject. For example, a friend of mine, they have like the family is full of doctors, but my friend is nowhere interested in biology, which means that he has got certain other capabilities. His brain works in certain other ways. We need to understand the way a particular child's brain is working, and we need to develop that particular skill set in those particular students. Obviously, if you talk about a mass audience, it cannot be done. But can it be? Let's see. There are different psychometric and other different types of tests, aptitude tests as well, which are available for literally students across all ages, which help us identify what exactly the student's mind or the student's brain is sort of architected to do in the future. If we start to emotionally attract the students towards that particular sector, they will eventually get a very good job in the future. And definitely, if not a job, they'll start a business in that particular sector. If you think about it, the person who was actually recording a movie or was taking a sky shot of a particular movie scenario has lost a job because one very intelligent guy decided to create something called what do you call it? These forgot the name. These little cameras that actually run across the in the sky. So this guy actually developed that, which means that in the coming future, there will be certain jobs which will be completely extinct. Another example is drivers. With the help of the self-driven cars, the complete domain of drivers or the complete sector of drivers and this industry could be extinct in the coming future, which means that we need to prepare all the students to have an open mind towards the world and explore different fields. And this again comes back to the very same question, same answer that we devised, that we prepare the students on on how to learn and not what to learn. So I think that's going to be the summary of my today's event, my today's speech. I'll thank you again for having me here and have a good event today. Thank you.
Once again, the founder and CEO of EduCloud's Sparsh Garge. Let us give our virtual applause for our guest speaker. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us about the teaching of our students on how they learn. It is when an individual is able to think, act, and pursue their own studies autonomously, coupled to the support from a teacher at school. With the talk of our guest speaker, I realized that we have to think outside the box, apply values, and establish emotional connection to the subject that we are teaching. And we don't have to stop from learning during this pandemic. Students can continue their independent learning. With that, thank you very much, sir. Now, to give recognition to our very competent guest speaker, we now present the certificate of recognition. Let me read the content of the certificate. This certificate of recognition is awarded to Sparsh Garge for serving as the guest speaker in the International Lecture Marathon in Transformative Education and Demonstration Teaching Festival with the theme Exploring Best Practices in the Arena of Digital Education, organized by LEAD Philippines and UPOSA Incorporated, held on June 18 to 20, 2021, given this 18th day of June in the year of our Lord, 2021 in the Philippines. Signed by the LEAD Philippines Conference Coordinator, Dr. Mat Mayna, and the CEO, President, and Founder, UPOSA Incorporated, Leslie D. M. Cervantes, and of course, the President of the LEAD Philippines, Ken Paul M. Espinosa, and the Founder and Chairman of LEAD Philippines, Dr. Mario C. Lucero.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sparsh Garge.
Another eloquent and excellent guest speaker will join us this evening as he shares a topic on unleash the power and enhance the mind, digital education using live international content. Our next guest speaker has an extensive expertise in global commercialization of innovative healthcare and technology products and services. He serves as co-founder and CEO of Global Opportunities Commercialization, or GOC, practicing lawyer